Welcome to Autism on the Seas Special Vacation Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin. And today we are talking to Tiffany Myers. Tiffany recently cruised with us, actually this month. She just got back. And she took her two sons, Aiden and Noah. Aiden has autism. He's 10 years old, and Noah is 16. And Tiffany is a single mom, and she's got a really great story to tell us. So I'll stop talking and say hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. So tell us a little bit first about the cruise. Where did you go?
We traveled from New Jersey, and we went to Port Canaveral, Florida first. And from there, we went to Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. And then we went over to Nassau.
Great. And
was that a
7-night cruise?
7 nights, yeah.
Okay. So I know you had shared that you had some, I guess, terror, I think was the word that you used. Even literally up until the day that you were leaving, you were feeling very, very nervous about the whole thing. So what happened? How did it play out for you?
So when I found out in December that we were going to be able to take this trip, I was so excited. And I thought the wait was going to be forever. So fast forward to June, and the packing starts, and I'm thinking, this is wonderful, we're going on vacation. It wasn't until I got out of my friend's car who brought us to the port, and I handed my luggage over to one of the gentlemen there. I looked up and I saw the ship, and I can't even explain the emotions. It was this overwhelming fear, and I looked up at the ship thinking, what did I do? I've gotten my family into this situation. What kind of mom am I? I cannot believe I'm doing this to them. And I'm thinking, once we're on that ship, we can't get off. And I was just terrified, and I'm with my children, and I'm really trying to just contain my emotions and put on a happy face, but it was very, very, very hard. And then we walked to the front of the building, and the first thing we saw were these bright orange balloons and a young lady standing there with her orange shirt. And I knew who she was, and she knew who we were, and she came right over. And no kidding, within 5 minutes of meeting her, I was crying.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this, and I'm sure you know, because I'm sure you've met a lot of great families during your stay with us and on the cruise ship. But I know that everybody has a slightly different journey, and every child is different. What were some of the issues that you were most fearful of associated with your son? What has stopped you all those years before from taking a vacation?
Well, for one, to take an actual vacation away from New Jersey, it's on an airplane. It's impossible. My son has a lot of anxiety, and we just knew traveling by air, he has stated phobias with it, stated it's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we knew a plane was out, and I thought, where could we possibly go to besides the Jersey Shore? Mm-hmm. That's going to be an actual vacation. So when I found out that Autism on the Seas ports in New Jersey, it's an hour drive from us. So removing the airline out of it for us was humongous. Mm-hmm. My son's a really big homebody, and he likes to be in a very familiar place with all of his, his familiar surroundings, his items, the people he knows. He's just very comfortable there. So for him to step outside of that comfort zone was scary for us. But I can tell you what really prepared us was, one, we were able to tour the ship in March.
Oh, and you did do the tour. Great.
We did it. And even the staff, one of the staff members was there during our tour and then traveled with us. And she said she saw a huge difference in him because we were able to take pictures. We were able to visit the staterooms. We were able to actually enjoy a meal, what we were going to eat. And so he was really able to see exactly what we were going to be doing rather than me just telling him. So that made a huge difference in itself. And then leading up to travel, we had received the social stories, and I went over them with him continuously. And so the preparation up to the trip was huge for us because for him, he's very visual. He's a very visual learner.
Mm-hmm.
So all these, it was like the building blocks to our trip. That's really what made it, successful for us.
So did you literally say to Aiden, do you want to do this? Can you do this? And did he say yes?
I can tell you, Christmas morning, we were surprising them with this is what was going to happen.
Uh-oh.
And I printed out a sign of what we were going to do. And I said, we're taking our first family vacation.
Wow.
And thinking I'm going to get this adorable, cute response, the very first words out of his mouth was, I hope we're not going on the Titanic. So it was like he's just a very literal kid. And I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, that's not the response I wanted.
Yeah.
So I don't think it actually connected with him what we were doing until we actually got to tour the ship and he could see exactly what it is we were going to be doing.
Okay, so you actually booked it and then you did the ship cruise.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we had made the commitment in December.
Yep. The skin was in the game.
March, yeah. And then in March is when we found out we would be able to tour the ship. But it was a simple email that I was explaining, like, he's got a lot of anxiety and fear and he wasn't understanding what we were going to be doing. And so, and they got us in to be able to tour. So that was a huge, huge help for him.
I think I may have actually been on that tour with you. I think
it was on
there.
the Adventure of the Seas.
Oh, it was the one in Bayonne, right?
It was, yeah. I think it was like right before. I think it was the day before Easter.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. I'm surprised I didn't meet you.
Amazing.
That's funny.
I know.
It was great. Wasn't it fantastic? And the bumper cars, and the rock climbing wall, and all of that. Yeah, it was cool. So, in terms of actually getting on the boat and then, just, okay, here we are, day one. How was Aiden when he was actually on the ship?
So, once we had gotten onto the ship, there was actually the morning of our trip, Aiden was sick. He was worried about friends he would be leaving behind, and the connection just wasn't there. Are we returning? What are we doing? Why are my things in a suitcase? Like, it was just a lot of, he didn't understand. And so when we had gotten onto first of all, boarding the ship was just overwhelming for me because I'm used to watching him and trying to focus on the person I'm speaking to. And, your life is like a whirlwind when you're trying to watch a child, who has special needs. So,
yes.
But Allie from Autism on the Seas was with us the entire process.
Oh, great.
And she was like, I have him. So you do what you need to do. And I thought, this is crazy. I have help. And so even the lady that checked in my baggage at the end of it, she was like, can I give you a hug? And I'm like, yes, because she could see I was just totally filled with fear. Yeah. So we get onto the ship, and he didn't want to eat. And we went into a very, a private room, which was awesome. And they had made the suggestion, why didn't he try and, maybe call one of his friends that he's struggling with leaving? So he did. So we gave him that time. And then they had said to him, hey, how about when we go to one of our stops, you could buy him a little gift. Would that help you? And he was like, yeah.
Great idea.
So it was because I couldn't even think at that point. And they were doing the thinking for me. So then he didn't want to eat. And I was nervous. And Allie had said, you go and you grab something to eat, and I'll stay here with him. And during that time, she was able to convince him, just put a little something in your belly because the ship's going to be moving and we want to make sure that you're okay. Mm-hmm. And so then with that, he began to trust her quite quickly, which was awesome. And he's not a very trusting person up front.
Uh-huh.
So right from the very beginning, it was like I knew that we were going to be very well supported.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So did you see any changes in Aiden as a result of the trip? Did he do anything, different, or did he take risks that he might not have before?
I can tell you prior to the cruise, I was showing him things on the Royal Caribbean website of all the things we could do. And he was like, nope, I'm doing it. No. And the way that Autism on the Seas supports you in that we had private sessions for different activities. So the one big thing was the flow rider. He was like, no. He did it. And he did it with a bunch of girls in orange shirts cheering him on, and just, I mean, and it's so exciting because they would cry, I would cry, because he's doing all of these different things. He had tried that. He had did the rock climbing wall.
Oh, wow.
He tried that twice. We actually had a private time for the water slide, and he sat up top at the water slide for a good 30 minutes saying he just didn't understand what he was going to be doing, where it would lead him to, and he had overwhelming emotions. And I have pictures of it. The staff is up in that tunnel with him, talking him through things, telling him it's going to be okay. Finally, we had said, if you do this, we'll put it on YouTube. And that was it. And he was like, so he finally did it. And then once he started doing it, he kept doing it.
Well, send me that clip.
So many different.
We'll definitely put that up.
It was overwhelming. He tried a lot of different things, and he's made friendships, which is like the biggest.
Really?
So, yeah.
So he's keeping in contact with some of the kids that he met on the ship.
Absolutely. At the end, he was really struggling at the end. We made a little yearbook for him, and his friends and even the staff put their phone numbers on there. And really what helped ease him back into life, you know, at home was him being able to keep in contact with the people that we met. So that's been we're only not even a week off the ship, and it's been rough, I will tell you, to get back into life.
Really?
For him, he's like, the last night he was just on the ship, the last night he was crying. He didn't want to leave.
Oh,
so it was yeah. Mm-hmm. But the staff was so great. They made a visual schedule for him once he started struggling with, like, what am I doing? What's next? When am I leaving? And it was just a conversation with our group leader. And like an hour later, she's like, here's a visual schedule, and it shows him what we're doing each day and the activity. Hang it in your room. Here's an extra copy in case you lose it. And I was like, wow. So every little aspect of our trip where he struggled, they stepped right in. And it was like, you can't fail taking this trip. You just can't.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm so happy to hear that. All right. Well, let's talk about you, because I'm sure you needed a vacation too, right?
Yes, I did. I didn't even know it, but I did.
Yeah. So did you take advantage of the respite at all?
I did. And the funny thing is I remember booking, and I was like, I'm not even going to need it. You know, we're going to be so happy to be on vacation, and we're just going to all be together. But the staff was like, you know, try it out, check it out, and see what you think. And I dropped them off, and one of the other families that were traveling with us said, come and meet us at the one of the lounges on the ship. And I thought, okay. So I sat down, and they're like, yeah, let's go get a drink. And I'm like, can I do that? Like, you know, like I'm not used to doing that. So he's like, it's okay, go do it. And I'm like, okay. So I went, and I got myself an adult beverage, which, you know, I don't even know what that is anymore.
Yeah.
And I sit down, and we had just started talking, and it was like, I think that was probably the first time that I felt relaxed during the trip, just because, in a sense, like, I'm with people that understand things and that get things, and I can talk freely and not have to worry.
Yes.
So I joined the other parents a couple of the respite sessions. One respite session, I actually took my older son shopping, which we never get to do that, you know, in like a more relaxed type of setting.
Sure.
And one night I just sat on the deck, and I had coffee, and I watched the waves, and I just kicked my feet up, and it was like,
it's the little things.
To be able to relax and to know that he was being cared for appropriately, that was huge.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. What about your older son? How did he fit into all this?
You know, for him, it's so hard because for years, you know, he has taken a backseat to the world of autism. Mm-hmm. It's just what it is. We know that the siblings really are affected by it. But he's such a good kid. He doesn't get upset. He doesn't have any resentment towards his brother. He's like the man of the house. And for him, it was like we got on the ship, and he said, you know, this trip's about him, and let's let him pick what he wants to do and things like that. And I'm like, no, you know, this is our trip.
Yes.
And he had signed up for the teen program. And from there, it was like so great for him because it was okay. Even like it was okay for him to go and have fun. And he even knew like Aiden's being cared for and he's being supported. So it was kind of like a little bit of worry came off of him.
Yeah.
And it was also different, just like at dinner time, I could have a conversation with him, and the staff was there to chat with Aiden.
Yeah.
So even sometimes having a simple conversation with my older son can be such a challenge because my younger one will do like attention-seeking behaviors and things like that. So it was like little things, you know, him
You
and I had went to get
reconnected.
coffee. We really did. And it was a great time for him. He made a lot of friends. And he was also like, with the kids in our group, he was so great. And he was like an extra set of hands for the staff too. So it was great for him as well. So I'm glad that he had that time, you know, to reconnect with me, but also just kind of reconnect with life, you know? So like a life outside of autism. So it was nice for him to get that. Yeah.
But embraced by people who understand it, you know, which is,
yeah, that
you
is
know,
huge.
which is, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right. So if you were to give advice to another family who wanted and needed this trip too, but they were still really scared to do it, what would you tell them?
Do it. I'm telling you, do it. I was scared. I think it was probably like a week before my trip, I was ready to bag it because my fears were like through the roof.
Off the charts.
But it was really bad. I mean, it was bad. And you can ask the staff from Autism on the Seas. They were like, this trip changed you as a person. I'm like, it really did. Like, they saw a change in me, like, quickly in the beginning. But, you know, there's a Facebook page where you can actually talk with families that have already taken the cruise. And there's just questions after questions. I had an overwhelming amount of questions, but everybody stepped right in and helped me. And, you know, that definitely helped. Like I said, the touring the ship, the social stories. But there's just no, failing's not an option. And the staff is there to ensure that you have a successful and a relaxing vacation. And, I mean, I can't speak more positive words for this organization. I will support it until the day I die. I mean, honestly.
Honey, thank you. Thank you.
We're just so excited to know. And we knew going into this, it was either make us or break us. We're either going to be able to travel in the future or we're not. So I think that there was a lot of also pressure on ourselves to know, like, this is it. Like, this is it. And it was an overwhelming feeling the first couple of, I'd say by day 4, I'm like, man, we can leave the ship and, like, we can take another vacation. And so it opened up a whole new world for us. It really did.
Oh, I'm so happy. I am so happy to hear that. That's a blessing.
We love it. It is. Huge.
Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for sharing your beautiful story and your vacation with us. And I know that other people are going to love to hear everything that you've said, and they're going to relate to so much of what you're feeling and what you've been through, and coming out of it feeling awesome, both your sons feeling great, and knowing, hey, I could do this again. I can be normal. I can have a vacation.
Would go tomorrow. If we could go back tomorrow, we would go back tomorrow. Trust me. We miss the staff immensely, and it hasn't even been a week. We miss the families, and, you know, we just miss everything about it. And so we're just super excited to be able to go in the future.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you again, and I thank you, and maybe I'll get to talk to you sometime soon.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.